What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the
Wheels Fall Off podcast.
It's your girl Spice, also known as Candace from SpiceLifeTv, and this is my beautiful co-host and delicious husband.
Well, thank you, baby. How y'all doing? This is Creed, and this is the podcast where we talk and discuss and learn about relationships and reintegration.
Let's
do it.
Let's go. All right, so for today, we got two segments for you before we get into the topic, and we have been trying to work on names for these segments. Of course, we're trying to get to know you, let you get to know us a little bit better. So the first one we're going to start off with, we're going to call it Ice Grills. And so this is a take on like an icebreaker.
Absolutely. So with the ice grill situation, like what we're doing is we're getting grilled, basically. You're going to ask questions. We cannot say no. We cannot deny the answer. We have to give y'all something, and we have to be truthful about it. So we're getting grilled. Ice-wise, you know what I'm saying?
So until we get some of those questions from you guys, we got a few that we can get started with. But yeah, you want to pick first?
I'm going to pick the first one.
Okay, let's see what you got.
To you.
Okay.
If you had the talent to play in any professional sport, which would you choose?
Well, I do have the talent to play volleyball. Because that is my game. Now, back in the day, y'all.
She used to get down.
I was a little something. I had a little talent with that. I was a back digger, and I was pretty good at that. But now, because, I want to make the bread, I'd probably play golf just because it's the easiest on my body, and I can make a lot of money. Because I don't want people running into me, and I don't want to have to run all the time.
No, I get that.
Yeah. So, what about you?
I mean, for me, it's crazy. It always would have been football, right? Because I used to play football. I was pretty good at it. Not good enough to go to the league and nothing like that. But I always wanted to do it. But what I've been learning is that football is so grueling on the body. You got dudes retiring early, and I don't think I wanted to do that. So if it was a sport I could play, I'm going to have to go with baseball.
Okay, yeah, that works. It's boring, though.
It seems boring, but when you're playing it, it's so much trained-eye, hand-eye coordination and stuff. And so a lot of training goes into baseball that people don't really take into account. So that would be mine.
It's true. It's not boring to play. It's boring to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let me pick a question. This one's going to be a little bit deeper, I think. All right. What's something you appreciate about your life right now that you may not have 10 years from now? Ooh.
My hair. I mean, honestly, because everything that I have right now, I do plan on having in 10 years. So,
so you're telling them you're bald by choice is what
100%. Best believe I shaved this off from the top to the back.
That's true. I've seen it. I'm a witness.
I'm not doing cul-de-sac shaving. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I can grow my hair.
So your hair.
100%.
Ooh, you're vain.
Just a little bit.
Okay, I think for me, because mine's already fading so fast, and I know in 10 years it's probably going to be almost non-existent, is my memory. I cannot remember anything. I have the worst memory. If it's not in a text message, if it's not written down, it never happened.
That's a good answer, honestly. I want to change mine. That's pretty good. And my memory ain't good neither. You already know. My memory
is trash.
You need to get stuff that we just talked about the day before.
Well, I think too, now that we're not partaking in that little activity that we used to partake in every evening, that might help us remember a little bit.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
It might help us start remembering things a little bit better.
You can't get them brain cells back.
They're fried forever?
But they gone. They gone. It's a wrap.
Okay, so the next segment we're going to go into, this is a new one. We're just going to introduce you to this. And so Munchie is named after Babe because his old nickname was
Big Munchie, yeah.
Absolutely. So we have our baby Munchie. And so this segment is going to be called The Munchies, where we are going to taste treats from around the way. So some things people make for us that I know locally, but then other things people send to us. So this one, my friend just came back from the Baltic. Actually, her son came back from the Baltic. And she brought us back some chocolates, hazelnut chocolate. We're going to try some black licorice. And I know this is an acquired taste, but she swears that this will turn you into a black licorice lover. And then these other two, I'm not really sure what they are. So I feel like it might be more of the same, another type of licorice, but we're going to try.
All right, let's
You ready?
Yeah.
What do you want to try first?
We was going to the licorice because we're going to get that out the way.
I love licorice. I like black licorice too. I've always liked it.
Licorice, all licorice. All right, let's do this. All right, you ready?
Ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, that's salt. She did say it was like. She did say it was kind of salty. No, okay.
That's just not good. And Trader's over there going to town on it though.
Well, this is not your typical. Yeah, this one's hard.
Yeah. You taste chocolate?
Well, I think it's that salt that gives it this like weirder, like another type of a flavor.
It's getting deeper as I'm trying to.
Yeah, the saltiness is coming through.
Excuse me.
Well, if y'all like a salty licorice, go for it. I don't know that that's our jam. Okay, let's try this chocolate to kind of rinse our mouth out.
Okay.
Oh, it got a little melted. So this is chocolate hazelnut. It's called Bavrit, I believe. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. Probably
Chocolate
did.
hazelnut, huh?
Get you a chunk. It smells like
Hazelnutty?
Okay. Ready?
I'm ready.
Ready?
Ready? Go.
Okay.
Can y'all hear the crunch though? I ain't mad at that.
No, I'm not mad at that either. Also, like, why don't I eat hazelnuts more? They don't sell hazelnuts, do they? Like that? In a bag?
I don't know.
I've never seen like a hazelnut like they do peanuts and stuff. It's kind of good.
But usually, and it escapes me right now, I can't think of it, but the desserts, they usually put hazelnut in, like Christmas time or whatever.
Oh.
I usually don't like
That's
them.
actually true.
So that's why I don't really.
It might
mind
be
the
out
hazelnut.
more around the holiday time.
Yeah. That ain't bad though.
That's not bad.
We're going to snack on that later.
I could eat that. I would need this to be cold. Like put it in the refrigerator a little bit harder.
100%. 100%.
I feel like this is more licorice. I kind of feel like she told me that. I can't remember. Ooh, it is. And it's filled.
Why they do that?
I don't know. But okay. This seems a little bit more normal. I wonder what it's filled with. What does that say? It's called lakritsi. Lakritsi. Moomin lakritsi.
You don't stop.
Let's see. Okay. That's better.
Yeah, I could get. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
That is better.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that one.
It's not, the salty's gone. And a little sweet, that thing in the middle, the pink.
Yeah, it
Let me
changes
see.
it up. That's
There's like
better.
if y'all can see, probably not, but there's like a little pink in there, like a filling.
Way more bearable.
Yeah, that went down way better. I can live with that.
From the Baltic, huh?
Yeah. So her son was there. I believe he was doing part of his mission over there. And he just came back. And so she was like, I brought you stuff.
Oh, that's what's up.
Okay, now this is just, I think, regular old.
Yeah, I don't really need that. I don't really need that. You good?
Okay, I will say this. Whatever the Americans do with their black licorice is what I'm used to, so I like that better. This is like, this one's not as nearly as salty as this one, but it's still got a little salt to it. And I don't think I can do that with the black
Yeah,
licorice.
that's tough.
I need more of just the plain old licorice flavor. But that was fun.
That was dope. Well, that was dope. And then the other two.
Actually, as you taste it, I mean, chew it more, it kind of has coffee taste.
Doing too much with licorice. Okay.
Okay, let's.
Black people.
All right, so
So,
are you ready to get into the topic for today?
what is the topic for today?
The people have been in our business.
How so?
They want to know the top question that we've been asked is, what that thing do in that prison? How you get to that? So what I was kind of like, this is only our second episode, and I don't know if we're ready to give them all our business yet. But I was watching on YouTube. It was a correctional officer who was being interrogated by the police, and the thing said on there, CO versus irresistible inmate. So that's what sparked the conversation, and we're going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about some of the things we've seen or heard that have gone on while we've been in there with some of the staff and such.
No doubt.
So let me tell you about this YouTube thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of funny and I was so embarrassed for this woman because I'll tell you. So she was in there. They had brought her in to talk to her about this investigation they're having. And they're asking her about this specific guy and just kind of more like coming at her like he might have been involved in something, and they're just trying to see what she knew. Really, they know the whole time. They're walking her into her telling them basically that she's been having this secret affair with this guy. First, she tried to say, oh no, I knew him before he got locked up, and I didn't know he was here when I started working here. And so when I got here, it was like, oh, we just kind of started up, but we were just friends. We weren't really doing anything like that. And so they just kept kind of giving her rope. And I mean, when I tell you she was hanging herself, because they were talking about this specific sexual act that they heard them talking about over the phone. One thing you should know, everything that goes on in prison on that phone is recorded. So
monitored.
Be prepared to have everybody in your business or people in your business. So they're talking about this incident. And she was like, oh, no, that was from 3 years ago before. We were just talking about that again now. And they were like, it sounded like it's happened pretty recent based on, some of the things you were saying. And she's like, oh, no, I've never done that to him while he's been in there. These people put on the tape and made her listen to the sexcapades that they were doing on the phone in front of all the detectives.
So they're in the room.
She's in her CO uniform. The detectives are at the table. They're letting her talk, and they're like, oh, well, let's just play this for you. Maybe you can help us understand what's going on. And It's literally her saying the things, him saying things back, her making the noise. I mean...
Could you have gone through that?
I felt bad for her just because having to sit there right there and doing it, like having people literally critiquing what you're saying. And the detective, he knew he was trash because he was just like, so when you were moaning there, was that from 3 years ago or was that I was like, okay, y'all really doing the most.
That's what they do though when they know they got you though. That's what they do.
Doing the most.
They let her hang herself just so they can do that.
They let her hang herself. So she ended up getting 100 days in jail and had to pay some kind of like restitution thing. And I don't even think anything happened to him because they're considering him like a victim because he's a ward of the state. But yeah, that was cringy.
But I'm gonna tell you something honestly, they don't consider him that, right? They only consider him that because that's the law.
Yeah.
But what they actually consider him as the predator, and they consider her the prey. That's the police mind state.
Right.
Because the simple fact is you used to hear these stories all the time, and what they would say all the time is, oh, she's a hug a thug type of person. You know what I'm saying? And she's sympathetic to the inmates, and that's why she got. They don't think that the inmate is the victim at all. That they are forced to treat him like that and treat her like she's the predator. But
which is so crazy because we understand the authority relationship dynamic out here. So why would it be different in prison?
Exactly.
I mean, you have the authority. But anywho, I felt really bad for her. But that kind of made me start thinking about different stories that I've heard and witnessed, or even were a part of myself. And there's been a lot of guards that we've known either getting down with people. We know one that's gotten married. Is it one or two?
One got married.
Yeah. We've known a couple that he's gotten out. They got married while he was in. Like she quit her job and they got married and then they didn't stay together very long. We've had some that have like, what do we call it? Like they'll set up an opportunity for you to have a little time. You got to kind of slide them a little something under the table and then they'll arrange for you to slide in the closet for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
Why don't you tell them about some of your little situations?
My personal ones? I remember the first time it happened, I was at Walla Walla. And it was basically just what you call somebody propositioning me. And so I used to have this job where I came back right before after the evening count, the 4:30 count. So when I came back, everybody was already locked up. So this one particular officer, when I'm going through the Sally port, she used to always be in a sorted mail because he used to pass out mail as soon as count was done. So every time I come through the Sally port, this door has to close before this one opens, and we're just in there together. And she was always asking me to come in there and sort the mail with her. This little room. Like, even if I step in there and somebody walks by, it just looks bad.
Yeah.
So she used to ask me all the time to come in there and help her sort the mail. So the very first thing I did, the first time she asked me, was went upstairs and asked my homeboy Sneaky T. That's my partner. I said, Sneaky, you know what this lady just told me? You know what I'm saying? And so he was telling her, Sneaky's like, oh, don't do it.
He said, don't do it?
Yeah, because, well, number one, he know my situation with you, number one. But then number two, he's always thinking ahead as far as like, don't, that's not going to end up well.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I was never considering doing it. But I couldn't believe it because where we were at Walla Walla at the time, this is not something that normally goes down.
Black chick?
Huh?
Is she black chick?
Nah, she was a white chick.
I was gonna say.
No, she was a white chick. She ended up leaving on her own accord before I even got shipped to the next place before I went to Monroe. But then every time she would come out for count, she would just give me the look like, no, one time she said she came by during count, the evening count, 9 o'clock, and was like, I work tomorrow. I'm not supposed to, but I'm working overtime tomorrow.
Just fast.
I used to be like, man, come on with these chicks. Listen, that was the first time, and it was a very, very quick instance. It probably went on for like 2 weeks before she gave up, and we moved on. The second one was when I was in Monroe, and it was a black chick. Now, here's the thing.
I don't know if you told me that one.
Oh, I told you that one.
Oh.
I'll tell you about it. So it was a black chick, and here's the thing with black COs. Not say all of them, but the ones that be looking for somebody, they come in knowing there ain't a lot of black COs. So they know the brother's gonna be like, ooh, who was that? You know? And so she was at me and she told me that I could have lunch with her back there where I worked at. And where I worked at was in this warehouse that was abandoned. And nobody goes back there. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, nah, I'm okay. And that was the first time I told somebody.
You told who?
No, the first time I told somebody who propositioned me that no, I'm all right. My wife holds it down. Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Thank you. I don't need none of that. So, because at the same time, you don't want to be rejected people that can have an influence on your life while you in there. So you don't want to be rejecting them, making them feel bad, and make them retaliate or anything like that. So I always try to be respectful, but respectfully very forward. Like, no, I don't want that. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because none of these, I used to tell Cass all the time, like, no woman can do nothing for me except point me in the direction you just went.
Okay, I like that.
That's all
so cute.
but I'm being real though. That's all they could do. So that's how I used to play it. But they used to come to me a lot, and a lot of time I don't think there's any particular reason for it. Maybe I was just open one day and they thought they can slide in, but nah, I ain't going for it.
Do you remember? So Walla Walla just made me remember. So I'm gonna just call him Chubby. I don't want to put all his business out there.
I got you.
Remember the one he was messing with and how I was the middle person?
You were.
So the way that worked was, it's his homeboy, and he had cracked this. Well, listen to me.
Well, crack means that he knocked her. Knocked her means he got her. Got her means she was his.
Yeah. So he cracked the CO that was actually like, she wasn't a CO, she was a teacher. So that was a lot of times where it would go down, is where you're going to do education. And so she was a teacher, and she actually was related to like the warden, or like, remember, like her dad was the big guy.
She was related to the lieutenant.
Yeah.
And the lieutenant at this particular institution, he was really, really rich. He had a lot of power because he owned the company that the institution bought all the store products from. So us inmates, when we're buying our commissary,
that seems like a conflict.
It definitely is. But it was Walla Walla. It wouldn't happen anywhere else.
Right.
So where we buy our commissary from, he owned the company. And he was just a lieutenant there. That's why he was never worried about moving up. But he had a lot of power.
So so his friend is creeping with the daughter who's in there teaching like a GED class or something. And because they couldn't call and talk directly, a lot of times she called me, and then he would call, I think he would call me, and then I would three-way her.
Yes.
So that they could talk. Or she would pass messages through me because she was afraid that people listening on the phones would know that it was her, because they all, like, Walla Walla is super small. Everybody knows everybody. And they know she's up there teaching, and their conversation, she might have given it away. But I remember that kind of got really kind of deep for a minute, because he was falling fast.
He was.
And she was too, but she was going like through a divorce. Remember that? It was another, and her dad did not like the fact that she was already married to a black dude. And so him finding out that she was messing with this guy would have been like her. She was afraid of getting disowned and all this stuff.
So the reason why he was at the institution with me, because the dad found out, the lieutenant found out and had him shipped out.
That's the thing.
So he got him shipped out. And then, of course, now when he lands and he makes a phone call, it's going to be monitored. So then that's why she really didn't want to talk on the phone. And it got real hairy there for a minute. Like, Yeah, because I was even worried about you. Like, you should be careful
I
when you
know.
don't.
Oh, but there was another one. What do I say? It's hard because I don't want to tell every.
Right.
I'm not trying to tell people's business, but this one calls me a lot, and he just called us the other day, and he had a good health report. That guy.
Yeah.
Remember his from Stafford Creek?
That one was funny.
And I was in that one too. So the reason again I was in the mix is because just over the years, it's weird. I have become kind of like a middleman or a connect for a lot of guys. When you're in prison, it's hard to get people to answer the phone. It's hard to get them to put money on the phone or just to answer the phone. It just is not something that people do very often. And I just became, I guess, the girl that they saw you constantly on the phone and knew that you had a consistent person that would answer the phone. And somehow it was like, can she pass a message? Can she make a call? And back early, I was calling for everybody. And I had to be like, this is not a hotline. But some of his really close friends, I would become that bridge for them. Like I would, send messages to their family or whatnot. Well, I don't even know what to call him. What should I call him? Because he had got this girl, this CO. He was working in the kitchen, and he's one of those. He has a very special place in my heart. He's like a big brother to me, but he has a way about him that I can see why she was attracted or why she kind of started liking him, because he just has this kind of like quirky charisma about him.
Yeah, he also has I don't give a fuck attitude.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the I don't give a fuck that kind of maybe is like, I see you.
Yeah.
So he had been kind of low-key telling me he had this girl, but he didn't tell me she was a CO, of course, because we're only able to talk over the phone. And he's trying to give me code, but I don't know his code because he ain't my man. I know my man's code. So we were trying to do it as much as we could. Long story short, he ended up getting shipped out because he got word that he was messing with this lady, and they ended up walking her off the property, off the campus.
Which they love to do.
Yeah.
They can't wait to do that because it's embarrassing because everybody sees it.
And it was embarrassing for her for many reasons. So Stafford Creek, super small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knew like, what? You got kicked out of there? So that was embarrassing for her. But then the other part was that she became pregnant and didn't know it was her husband or our boys.
Yep.
So he's kind of stressing a little bit, like, I don't know, because they can't talk now because they've moved him, fired her. He was afraid to call because she's, under investigation and they're watching her, trying to, check things out.
Her husband's tripping, yeah.
Yeah. So he has me call her because nobody knows my phone number that's investigating anything. So I call her and I'm just like, hey, so-and-so wants me to send you a message. Like, everything's cool. He's cool, whatever. And she's just texting me like, who is this? Who are you? Like, she's very paranoid because she thinks I'm like the cops trying to catch her. And so I had to basically be like, girl, I don't care what you're doing. I'm just telling you from my boy, this is what's going on. And then that's when she tells me like, well, tell him he might be a dad. And I'm like, what? And I said, what are you going to do with this little black baby in freaking Shelton? She's like, I'm going to just have a little black baby in Shelton. So we don't think anything ever came of that because he lost contact with her after a while because she kind of got freaked out and just, they cut everything off, that's what happens a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But I stalked her on Facebook a few times and I've seen pictures over the years and I don't see no baby, no black baby and nothing. So.
Oh, really?
I don't think so. Cause he had me ask, he kept asking me like, I need you to find out if she had my baby.
He really wanted to know. He really wanted to know when I seen him. Remember I came through Shelton, I was in transit and I seen him on the phone and he was still kind of trying to talk to her at the time. And that's when she first started kind of being a little bit standoffish, probably because of the investigation. But I think her husband decided to give her another chance and she was going to try to make a go of it. So she had to eliminate my boy. But yeah, that was a hairy situation.
That was. Because she would call me like super late at night because she'd have to call between like when her husband would, it was just all this drama. And I'm like, how am I in the drama? And I'm not even in the drama, but I was in kind of the drama, like getting the front seat of it.
Yeah. I know. Do you remember the other instance?
Which one?
I don't believe you forgot this one. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say that. And so we was at Monroe and it was a CO. And I remember one time I was going back to the trailer and I just happened to see them back there. And it was kind of a situation where I was like going into a room with one of them and Oh my God.
You told me about this?
Yeah, you knew about it. You was there when it was all going on.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name's nephew? Remember he was convicted as a child of murder, and he had life. He was at Monroe, been in Monroe forever. Bald head guy.
Yeah. Okay.
That situation.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
No, we talked because that's the one that got married.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one that got married.
Right.
But we didn't elaborate on it.
Yeah.
But that one was messy because they knew whole time. The staff, the administration at the institution knew they were trying to catch him. So and the reason why I knew is because I was cool. Remember my boss, red smiley face, was telling me like something's going on, and I'm giving them the, you know what I'm saying, but not trying because there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the huddle with him,
right.
they don't think I know. So I'm trying to give them the heads up while we in the weight room and stuff. And so what ended up happening was there was another CO female that came and told this particular CO, like, they're about to come walk you off right now. So she came back to where I worked at and told her that. She immediately jumped up, grabbed her bag, and went out the back entrance where you guys used to come in at the ELV trail. She went out that entrance as they was coming down the walkway to walk her off.
So what, did they ever get her?
They never got her because, okay, to his credit, he didn't cooperate. They came to him. He had been locked up since he was 13. At this time, he's like 39 years old. So they came to him and told him, you know, you've been back here behind the walls for a long time. We'll ship you to Twin Rivers. You give us her. And he said no. He said no. And so they couldn't do nothing with her, but they talking on the phone. They doing everything. They writing letters. So they was a little sloppy. I was surprised it went on as long as it did. But they was literally, his job was to clean the trailers. And she was supervising. So when he would clean the trailers after people left the trailer, they was getting down. I said, oh man. And me, I'm just walking one day carrying a tree on my shoulder, and I just happened to look at the fence, and I was like,
okay,
what?
The sentence you just threw out there, carrying a tree on your shoulder.
Well, I'll never forget the situation because I had to move these trees, and so I was carrying a tree, and I was looking at it, what's going on? I said, oh, and I tried to do a quick turn, but you can't quick turn with a tree on your shoulder. You got to turn real. Listen, y'all, I'm telling you, I'll never forget that day. So I instantly just got walking back. Hopefully nobody called me or nothing because I didn't want to be looking at that situation too long. Again, there's a camera there, and I just went back to my work. But then, like I say, about.
Did he see you? They didn't know you saw.
He saw me. I found out later he saw me. She didn't see me, but I found out later that from that time till when they got cracked, they'd been going on for a month. They let them go to hang themselves. But they could never get anything
like concrete,
definitive. Definitive to say you did this. And so, because there is a penalty. There's a penalty. You go to prison for that. Like she said, you know, that's a sex offense. You will be a sex offender, the female will be, or the CO will be, if they get caught and convicted of that. So that's why she was out of there. I'm not letting y'all do that to me.
I don't blame her. I mean, the difference for me with that is because they did get married and he really was about her. Like there's a difference that we see. Like the other ones we saw, they're just what they are, hit it and quit it.
Right.
But they had an actual relationship, and so even though I'm not saying I condone it, I just think that it kind of was a little bit different because he was very much for her, and like he, you know what I mean? Like it was a mutual thing.
I condone it though. The only reason I do is because number one, he was single. You know what I'm saying? She was single.
Well, I condone it as far as long as the CO don't get her in her feelings and then throw it back on him. Like I've seen that happen where everybody was in it and now you're mad and then you do something and he's got to pay for it. Right. That's what it's kind of like.
I get you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, them situations get sticky and hairy because you be witnessing this and, you know, real solid stand-up type cat, if it's not your situation, I don't want to be paying attention to it. But sometimes these cats are so sloppy, it's thrown in your face. So then you end up trying to do everything not to see it, and you can't not see it. Because
if you do, you'll be questioned too.
Exactly.
Right. And
then I turn away, and when I turn away, I'm looking at the dude, he looking right at the situation happen. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, I got to get out of here. So, yeah, I never wanted to get caught up because you know as well as I do, some things happen with me as far as them trying to put me in the Bing for stuff I didn't do and all that. So I didn't want to be in that situation, you know. So
here's another perspective. This is an instance that happened with you a couple times. This has happened. So, I go up to visit every week. I'm visiting. So they see me and they get to know me and they're like, "Hey girl, you're so cute." This is the COs that are checking you in. You kind of get this like little familiarity, and you're not homegirls, but you're cool. They might be like, "Okay, I see you today. You cute." And they'll do a little banter. And so there's a familiarity, and like you just feel like, okay, she
Right.
know me, she know my man, she knows what's up. There's been 2 times that they've been smiling and smiling in my face and not know that he done told me how they have propositioned him. Or the one chick who had the nerve to try to watch you shower and just took a seat on the stair.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the next day was like, "Girl, and you guys are such a good couple. Y'all so cute." At visit, smiling, hee-heeing in my face because she know I can't say nothing to her.
They was out of pocket the way they built that, because they got. So I'm on the first level in the unit. There's 2 levels. I'm on the first level in the shower, but they built the stairs right here, so you got to come down the stairs and then come around and go down. You can literally come down the stairs and look right in that shower, and that's what she did. And she would always time her walks. She got to walk the tier when certain people she wanted to see was in the shower. And so the thing is, the cells is over here, the shower's over here. So why are you walking like this down the tier? You know what I'm saying? And so it was nothing I could do.
No, this is what you told me. You told me that she came down on them stairs and sat there.
Yeah. So
watched you shower.
So when she got
I was ready to fight her.
When she got to the end of the tier, she came down, and once she got to the landing, the last 2 steps, she sat right there. And then she tried to talk to somebody that was down there, but she kept looking at me. And I was
then
like,
had the nerve to smile in my face. I wanted to slap her so hard. But of course, I have to play the role.
You got to play the role.
Because I want to see my man. And she could literally end my visits indefinitely. She could just say, "You're never seeing him again." And that'd be it. You always got to tap dance around these people. Just,
I don't know if you remember when we was at McNeil Island. And we was sitting there, and there was this chair that she was sitting at that was right there, like where the front desk was.
Yeah.
But there was this other chair she sat, and it was literally kitty corner to where we
and
were
she
the
would
whole
just
time.
watch him the whole time.
And that was the weekend I told you. You know what she did this week? That was scandalous.
And the whole time I'm like, "Hey, girl," thinking that she, that one, and then the other, Big Red at Monroe.
Yeah, Red was crazy because Red.
She was vindictive. She was evil.
She used to. There was so many people she sent to the hole for one reason or another.
Exactly.
She was like viewed as top cop. You know
But
what I'm saying?
in her mind.
Yeah, in her. Well, the thing is, but they felt like she was incorruptible because she sent so many people to the hole. She did so much. She wrote so many infractions and whatnot, and then she was just biding her time. And where I worked at was kind of a remote place in the institution. It was like a place of trust. This is where I seen old boy and old girl in the trailer. It's the same place. So it was a level of trust back there, and only certain people could go back there. And so when I'm back there, she used to be back in the office and used to always ask me to come in and do stuff and all that. And then just one day she was like, "Are you really gonna stay married when you get out?" That was the very first thing she said. I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Why?" And she was like, "I just think there's something better out there for you."
Oh!
And I said, "Nah." I grabbed that trash and walked up out of there because I was emptying the trash when she said it.
I mean, and if you saw who said it, you would be like, "Why are you saying it? It ain't you."
Yeah.
Looking like that.
Yeah, she was looking. She had like the buck teeth. She could
What
eat,
are you
she
doing?
could eat corn on the cob through a picket fence. I'm telling you, like it was like super buck, right? And she had the nerve to be trying to get at somebody, but she used to always do her little red hair and curls and stuff. So she thought everybody was like on her.
Whatever.
Big Gumpy.
Big Gump.
Yeah, it was a trip though. That was a trip, but it wasn't. I mean, if you're serious about your relationship, in all seriousness, if you're serious about it, that doesn't give you any sense of pride or anything. Like, don't make your chest swell up.
What about this guy's? I don't remember that situation all the way.
Yeah, that wasn't an outward
Okay.
situation. So what happened was this dude I know, this is at Stafford Creek, and you don't have, like she said, it's in Aberdeen, right? So you don't have a lot of black COs and all that. This was a counselor, and she was a black counselor, and so she kind of stood out. Well, he goes in there to talk to his counselor every day, and he's standing there longer than everybody. And so people started to be like, he's probably getting at her. So people respectfully kind of just mosey away. Well, long story short, he used to come to the chow hall and all that and to be like, "Hey, y'all, smell my fingers."
I remember that.
And I'd be like, "Man, get up on my face," right? So there, but again, I say people be throwing it in your face and you be trying to look the other way. So he does that enough in the
Which
wrong.
is stupid because that's how you get caught.
And that's how he
Like,
got
just
caught.
Shut up.
And they ended up walking her off and charging her. And then the thing is, he gets sent out. He gets out probably about 2 years later and ends up coming back 6 months later with a gun charge. So I was like, you here to do it again? You here to see who you can knock again? All the free women out there
All
wasn't
the
enough
free
for you,
women.
huh? Yeah. It is what it is, though. Some dudes don't learn.
So do you want to tell them? Do we want to tell them about the chick that was scheduling the boom boom room?
Yeah.
Because she was a mess.
You want to start that? Or should I?
I'm trying to remember how it all started, but so we didn't. At least I had heard about the boom boom room before I really knew what the boom boom room was or that it was a real thing. People kind of just talked about it, but you kind of had to be in like a certain level of know to get access to it. So of course, I'm with this guy who knows everybody and has specifically was best friends with this piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Piece of shit, but that part kind of benefited us. He ended up cracking the CO, who was, dummy over him.
Look who's using cracking, y'all.
She cracked him. He cracked her. Anyway, she was so stupid about him. And she was reckless. That's the thing. Like, anytime you do any kind of mess, you got to make sure everybody knows how to act. And if you don't know how to act, I'm not doing nothing with you. And that was why I was like, no. Because she was very reckless. So the way it would go down, the boom boom room ended up being like this game room that was off to the side of the visit. You come into McNeil Island and you walk through these doors, and you walk through the first set of doors into like this atrium space, and over to the side is a bathroom, and then you go through another door to the main visiting room. So she would, the guys would kind of orchestrate the deal, how much everything was going to happen, and you'd relate to your girl, and then you'd have to meet her in the bathroom and put the money in like either the paper towel dispenser or somewhere that she could get the money. Once she got the money, then she would allow y'all at a specific time when like the account was clearing and the shift was changing.
So remember you had a boat that left every hour.
Yeah.
Right? They waited until after the 5:25 boat because the sergeant left. Remember, her office is right next to the boom boom room.
That's right.
So she left at 5:25, visiting the inn till like 7:30. And when she left at 5:25, it was on.
It was on. And it was like, it was on for the people who had the benefit. Not everybody knew.
Yeah.
Not everybody was aware of what was going on. And it kind of kept on the low for a minute until people just started getting sloppy and getting too excited and just being reckless.
Well, she was the worst because even while it was going on, because this dumbass dude that I was friends with at the time, he was involved in so much stuff that when something would happen in the unit, she would hear it over the radio. And then she would come. Remember, she came to our table and was like, I think they're gonna mess with him.
Was paranoid.
And she would just be at the table
like,
talking like scared. With everybody in the visiting room, we'd be like, okay, if that's happening, what you doing here?
Don't come tell us. We don't want to know.
Yeah, so she wasn't
on camera.
She wasn't covert.
She wasn't slicking out at all. But it didn't. That whole thing. We might have to do a whole show on just that whole thing.
Y'all remember that one because that's going to be a show.
That's a big one.
That was a drama.
A lot of drama for that. Long story short, she ended up getting walked off.
She did.
He got sent out. A lot of y'all got sent out. We stayed clear. They didn't touch us. Nah. They tried. Remember the phone call?
That I do. You mean the one from him trying to call you?
No, the one from you after you talked to the detectives.
Oh yeah.
So, you're on the phone. You can't say what you want to say because everything's recorded. And because there was this huge investigation, like we said, we'll tell you the deal about that more. Huge investigation. They bring him in because they know he's one-on-one with this guy. They're best buds. And so he has the investigation and he knows he has to, since they're watching his movements and they know he's going to come get on the phone. It's going to be weird if you get on the phone and don't say like, babe.
Yeah, act normal or just be like, you can't just be like business as usual when I just got through talking to the detective.
Right. So I know what is no. I know what we cannot say. I know all of the words and things that we are never supposed to say on the phone. So I forget how you brought it up. Oh, I know. You were like, babe, you will never believe what happened today. And I'm like, what? Because I literally don't know what's going on. So I'm like, what? He's like, man, these detectives, they done wrapped me up and took me in the room. My stomach is hot because I'm just like, oh shit, it's about to happen. Something's happening. But I'm on the phone and I got to play it cool. So he's telling me the story as if I don't know nothing. And then they're going to come talking about some boom boom room. And I'm over here like, some boom boom room?
Yeah, you played it good.
What's a boom boom room?
You played it good. You played it good.
So he's trying to have it explain. We're playing so dumb. And I was like, damn, I wish I did have some exorcism boom boom room. I'd pay $150 for that.
You know?
So we played it up and he ended up, nothing happened. And I think a lot of it was just because they couldn't catch you talking about it. They didn't catch anything on camera with you. We were pretty slick.
Because of all the stuff, you know, I used to be involved in a lot of the activities at Monroe. So with all that stuff being on my record, they was like, oh yeah, you got to know something. And I remember when they came in, it was a male and a female, and it was like, listen, your boy is in the Bing. So that's the hole, y'all. And we know what's been going on, and we feel like you've had some involvement in it. Do you know anything about the boom boom room? And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. And they said, well, listen, if we find out that you were involved or that you ever went in there and did any type of sexual acts, your visits will be suspended from here on out to the end of your sentence. And I wasn't going for the threat, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, listen, I've been in every visit room in this state for over 12 years, and there's not one incident like that on my record. So y'all can miss me with that. Y'all have anything else? And he was like, well, we're going to do some investigating. We're going to look at all the cameras. If we see you on there, I said, do you have anything else?
You was going to catch me. I ain't getting in trouble.
Listen, the cold part about it. So the boy, that's why we call him the dude sucker that I was friends with, because he's the one that sent him to me.
Yeah.
He's the one that sent him to me.
He got caught up.
He got caught up on the situation. He's in the hole. And then they talked to him, and so for him to try to game them to get sent to where he wanted to go, or not, or do as least amount of time in the hole as possible. Well, we also found out he'd been telling on
everybody the whole time anyway. That's just his bargaining power.
He's been a snitch. He's been a snitch. But in order for him to go to the institution he wanted to from McNeil, he told them everything, and he put me in it, and so that's why they came to see me.
And then he had the nerve to call me. Mm-hmm. And you know when they call you on the phone, it's like you have a collect call from, and then the person says their name. And then, so back in the day, if you couldn't talk on the phone, right when we would pick up the phone was like a 5-second, maybe 2 or 3 second moment where I could say, call me right back.
Yeah.
So that he knew when I hang up the phone to call me right back. And they don't have that no more. You don't hear anything on either side. So I'm thinking it's Babe calling me. It was old dude apparently, because I said, call me right back, because I wasn't able to talk. And so the phone rings again, and I'm thinking it's Babe. But I know what had happened. Like, I knew he was cracked, and I knew he was snitching. So then when it said his name, you ain't about to get me on the phone. So you could try to throw us out there and say something on the recording line, and then click.
Exactly what he tried
Never
to do.
talk to that fool again.
Straight Suckerville.
You ain't calling me. Blocked him and everything.
Straight Suckerville. He was the worst, though.
Still, anyway.
Yeah. It's over with, babe. Don't worry about it.
You know, I got a woo side. It just took me back a little bit.
It's not even an issue no more. Yeah, but I mean, Cash do stuff like that. So I mean, don't get it twisted. A lot of times, Cash that be involved with that, not all the time, but a lot of time, is not usually a solid motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, to be always engaging with them in the first place is how you end up in that situation.
Yeah.
And so, you know, 9 times out of 10, I'm not engaging with police like that, you know? And so with him, that's what he was doing. He was engaging with the COs because that's what he do. He talks. He's a snitch. Mm-hmm. So she liked it. You know what I'm saying? He used to be a little weightlifter. You know what I'm saying? He looked like Stephon Marbury. Yeah, I used to love him. You know what I'm saying? And so she fell for him hard, but yeah, he just wasn't a stand-up dude. And he gave her up too. He gave up
everybody.
Yeah, he gave up everybody. And so one day, me and my partner Psycho Marv. We were going down to
everybody has a name like that.
Yeah, my dude Mar, that's my guy. We were going down. Our job was to take the trash out at the end of the night to where they in the front, so the big truck come pick it up on the road. And as we're going down there, the dude in main control who opens the doors was like, "Hey, y'all boy down there telling on everybody, like he's giving it up." Mm-hmm. And that's when I first got hit. Like, oh really? He was like, "Yeah, old girl's gone. She's already in Pierce County Jail." So that's when that was my first inclination. Like, okay. And at the time, I hadn't heard all the rumors about him, but you remember I had him under investigation because I had heard one in particular, but that got squashed. But when I heard that kind of broke my heart.
It broke mine because I never liked him in the first place, and I should have stuck with my guns. Never liked him.
You didn't. It broke my heart, not because I gave a fuck about him like that. I'm saying it broke my heart because he was around me a lot, and I prided myself on not having cats around like that in my circle. And he was around me for years doing that, you know? So, yeah, that was heartbreaking for me.
All right, y'all. So we gave you a little dose of what y'all was asking and asking and asking. So we gave you the side of the CO side. Maybe if we get to know y'all a little bit better, we might give you some more details. Did we miss anything?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they want to know about us.
No, I'm saying
situation.
Yeah.
Oh, but we covered everything that we can cover today. Yeah, for sure.
The other thing too, y'all, we got to make sure when we're telling stories, some of the stuff we don't share is because it could maybe hinder what people are currently doing. Like, we don't want to mess up anybody's game or anybody's hustle or anybody's anything.
Yeah, that's
like,
not what this is about.
That is their life, and they can do it. And I'm not trying to shine and let the police know anything more than they need to know. And I don't want to also, we were trying to make sure we don't tell certain things because it could identify people.
Yeah, the names have been changed to protect the guilty
Exactly.
for sure. But at the same time, yeah, we just trying to give y'all a little bit of insight because that's a world that a lot of people have preconceptions about, and they hear stuff. This is somebody that actually experienced it for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So we just trying to give y'all some insight, but we can't give you everything.
Not everything.
Yeah.
But y'all real nosy too, and I love it.
Yeah. You know
they are nosy.
They own it right now. They didn't listen. They didn't hit the button and rewound us a few times. They did all that.
No, but I'm interested to see what other questions you have from this because I'm sure there's pieces that we might have glossed over and didn't fill in the gaps. So make sure you put those in the comments. Also, you can catch me on Instagram at The Real SpiceLifeTv, and that's a really good place to have more direct contact because I'm on that all the time. But yeah, fill us in. Let us know if you have a story, if you've been in a story. We want to know your juice too.
Yeah, because this goes both ways.
Tell
us something. Yeah, we could ping pong
share
this
notes.
back. We could ping pong.
Compare notes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, like I said, we will be back again next week with another tantalizing topic. But feel free to give us some more options and more ideas that you guys have.
Yeah, hit us up.
But until next time, y'all, we appreciate you for joining and staying with us all this time. Until next time.
Until next time, y'all.
We're going to see you later. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.